Hello, welcome to the Cornerbird stream. Realized I haven't been streaming for more than a week because I guess been busy from doing the tutorial stuff. I've started doing the script for the next one. I'm really excited to show the random shit that I've been doing for the tutorial. I feel like I'm having too much fun making random things for the tutorial. Like things that I feel like I haven't really seen a lot of should I just show it to you now? You know what? Let me just give a sneak peek of one of them. Where is it? Ta-da! I keep laughing to myself when I see this. Anyway, look forward to shit like this in the next tutorial, which will be about scale armor. Yay! And speaking of Elden Ring and stuff, like I just found another channel for Elden Ring lore. It's like, yeah, it's so, I guess it's so amazing how people can come up with topics to talk about with Elden Ring lore or like Dark Souls lore. Like talking about the sun, and like I feel like with so many of the videos it's always like, let me explain to you why the sun rises up in the east and sets in the west and why it's intentional. It's like I eat this kind of shit up. Okay, let me go back to the other one. Yeah, it's really cool how, where is it? Like this is how it looks like originally, and then this is with the lighting, and this is for post-processing. It's so amazing. I feel like I'm so easily self-entertained. Like I can just do this all day. Like no wonder I'm just like stuck at home and doing my own stuff, because it's so much fun. Like I'm so, where is it? Yeah, I'm very easily entertained with so many random shit. But anyway, with the Elden Ring lore, it's like, yeah, like it's so cool how like people can just talk maybe hours on just one little thing that they found that seemed to be amiss or something. And I always like to listen to Tarnish archaeologists or archaeology. I really like that channel, and I haven't really been watching them because I haven't finished DLC. Even though I feel like I don't really have that time to play any games at the moment. But I was thinking like maybe I should like just go back to watching them. I don't know. I feel like I probably can't finish the game. But I guess like talking while listening to these things are quite impossible for me. So I will just listen to some music as usual. Anyway, I think part of like not doing live streams was that I was spending some time to kind of like reflect on my social media posting. So I've been posting every day on Twitter and Threads for like kind of like a project overcoming trauma or something. Because I can never finish anything, and I always feel like I just feel like I always feel like my work is really just not good enough. And like it's really illogical, but it's just how it is. And I also feel like that's why just having hard work and talent in art doesn't really get you anywhere, because there's so many things that comes into play. But anyway, so I was thinking about like, I haven't been posting on Instagram for a while because I feel like the things that I want to post on it, but it just feels so far away. Like so many of my projects feels really far away from completing and all that. So I was sitting down and just like looking through my sculpts or like my works, and I was like, or even just thinking about all the posts that I've made in the past few weeks, and I was thinking to myself, like, actually I do have quite a bit to post on Instagram. And like Instagram would be a place where I post more of like final works or like more polished stuff. But I do want to post like work in progress on it too. I just didn't really know what to post regarding work in progresses. But then I realized that there is a way that I can post my work in progress, and I should be doing that so that I can post more consistently and on Instagram. Anyway, that's what this will be about. I think this one is kind of close enough for posting and stuff. So if I go to the lit PBR mode and post-processing, something like this, I will need to update the lighting. I still don't really know what I want to do with the background color. Like it's a bit, I guess it's a bit dark right now. Let me just, I was thinking like, oh, this is like, this decent enough to post on my Instagram. But I do want to kind of like just polish up some of the paint and all that. Like it doesn't have to be finished, but it just have to be like consistent throughout. Like this part is not really consistent with like this part. You get what I mean? It's like it can be a level of unpolished, but then it has to be consistent everywhere for it to work. So let me keep this charged. So I was thinking like, yeah, I can post this first because I haven't been posting in so long. I feel so guilty like for people following my Instagram too. It's like it takes so long to post stuff. Anyway, let me see. Will it look better like this? Oh, no, I think I just do like this because it's a lot easier to see what I'm painting when there are no lines over. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do today. I guess it's quite different from what I've been live streaming because I've been sculpting more than doing anything else on live streams. So yeah, hopefully this will be something cool for you to see. Like, so I have this area here like this. I'm thinking like, do I want it to be like this or do I want it to be more like that? So there's something to think about. And before I go into like fixing the mesh and all that, before painting and like doing the paint, I want to share with you a tip of the day. Oh, Sculptura, hello. Thanks for dropping by. Hope that you have a good day. So like the tip that I have, this was something that I picked up from hours of doing Nomad Sculpting and painting on the bus and like train rides. Is that, so like when you're on the bus especially, like it's gonna be really bumpy, and like if you're like me and I carry a bunch of stuff I mean, not really a lot, but it's still like enough to like, I guess I just feel very paranoid of like dropping stuff. So like I'll need to grip things really hard, like make sure that they don't drop, especially because my iPad doesn't have a screen protector, because I don't really like screen protectors in the first place. But so yeah, especially on the bus, right, when it's bumpy, or like let's say if you're on the train and there are no seats for you, like all seats are taken up or it's crowded, but you still want to do Nomad Sculpting or Nomad Sculpt or do some painting. I realized that something that I did to make it so much easier to paint is to have like these color palettes here. So these are just spears. These are just like if you add a new spear, this one, and then I just flatten it like that. It really doesn't matter like how it looks like. Maybe I even want to, I don't know, like make it into a proper palette of some sort. But so I have these things, and then these are like the colors that I use for the sculpt. So like let's say this one. So I'm picking the pure color from it, like that. So maybe like this. What are the colors? I'm looking for colors that I probably would want to like reuse. So I'm not really sure about this color right here, but like let me just paint. Oh, I see a question. Have you ever created your own brush? Have I created my own brush? No, I haven't, so there's nothing for me to show you. But I can show, like there's this one, but then I'll just like playing around the setting. I haven't really used it. So it's like, let me see. I don't remember why I did with this, and it's just there. But this, I do set, like let's say if I feel like I use a brush, like I use a tool in 2 different ways and like consistently use it in 2 different ways, then, and like I catch myself like, oh, I always have to like go to the setting to like switch this, and then like later on like go back to the setting and like switch it again. So that's what this paint brushes is about. This one is just a duplicate of this one, and where is it? And the filter, which is like the second button here, and the filter, there is a front facing vertex only. So this is what this one is. So let's say if I have maybe like this, if I paint on this, something like that. Okay, it's not thin enough. Maybe here? Or maybe if I use a bigger brush. Oh my god, it's like doing this thing again where like it's working because I'm trying to demonstrate. It's so annoying. Okay, let me paint this. Oh wait, it is working because I'm using this. So like let's say if I use the normal paint brush and I paint like this, I think there's chances that on a very thin mesh it will bleed to the other side, which is cool for something like this is good, but for something like, I think for something like this I wouldn't want it to happen. And I noticed that I'll select this quite often. I'll like select and unselect this quite often, and it's kind of like, I wish that there's a way to have this like here or something, but it's over here, and I don't like opening like this whole window just to get this button here, because I don't really, yeah, I think like there's some cool stuff around here, but I don't really like, I already feel like using these is like too technical for me. So I don't really think about like, oh, I want the brush to be like using like 90%, like 90 degrees sharp edge and like off and on, like things like that. It's like too much for me. Like my brain will overload. But so this is what this is. I think this is the same thing where like the crease brush, sometimes on the thin mesh like this. Let me see. So sometimes like this, if I use the crease brush will, oops. Why are you working? Let me just undo everything. Okay. Oh wait, it is working. Okay. I'm really sorry. I'm like really tired from trying to exercise like every day, and it's like driving me nuts. Okay. Yeah, so with the crease brush, the same thing. I tend to get this a lot with the crease brush, where the other side gets really warped. So same thing where the front facing vertex only is on. If I do this, then the other side is saved. Because like sometimes you want it on, like let's say if I do this, like if I'm drawing the crease brush, like sometimes it's nice to have it. But that's why like I switch between this quite often, especially on the edges. Like if I do this versus if I use the front facing vertex only, because front facing vertex only will try to detect that the face is like at the front and ignore the back face, but then it causes quite a bit of problems on edges like this. Like you see, like it doesn't know like which one is the front, which one is the back. So yeah, this two, I think that's about it. And probably the only other thing that I changed is under the painting tool, I changed the intent, I like brought it down, the intensity, because like I always find by default it's 100%. And it feels really sharp like that. So I've been finding myself like painting like this. It's like, it's a lot easier for me to control. And so I save the settings so that whenever Nomad Sculpt, whenever it restarts, or like whenever you close the app, then this one will stay. We'll do like crease brush. You're new to Nomad. Oh, I hope that you have a good time with Nomad Sculpt. But yeah, the crease brush is let me see if I can show it on this. No, I think it's easier to show it on. So like let's say I have this sphere with a really nice, I feel like this, sorry, there's an ant on my table. I think like once every few months there'll be, why am I getting onto my hand? There'll be like a, because I don't want to accidentally like bump into the ant and like kill it. So I'd rather it move away from me. But like once in a few months there'll be like different season of ends. And this time around, this month, it's the season of like this slow moving, hardy looking ants. Why do you not want to get on me? Like that. But I don't want to crush it, so let me move it away. I think ants like this is cute. The ones that move really fast and it's like super black and big. I don't like those. But anyway, back to the crease brush. So crease brush does this where it squeezes the mesh. So I'm not sure whether that was, let me use a bigger one. It looks like it's lagging because I'm just moving really slow. But so this is what it does essentially, where it squeezes the vertices together and pinches it into a point. But I'm not sure whether I would prefer it or like maybe crease brush is good. But I've been using it for like drawing instead of doing what it's supposed to do, like that. But by default, the crease brush is just meant for like, let's say if I have this and then I want to squeeze it more, then that's what it is. Yeah. Oh yeah, voxel merging is like I don't really use that often. I think the only time when I use voxel merge would be where, like, let's say if I do this, the only time when I voxel merge so like you will like lose stuff and you can use like keep sharp edges to retain the sharp edge. But like you do have to bring it up quite high to retain some of these. But so like the way that I use it is that I'm very conscious of not doing too much details before I finish the main like, what's that, before I do any detailing. So like I'll just do it more of like, if I encounter this kind of thing where like, oh, I have details here, but then now I want to merge this, and like, oh shucks, like why did I detail that? Then in my next project, then I'm just like more conscious that I don't do that kind of thing before I voxel merge. So I think like when I was doing the hands and the arm, initially these were like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, like 17 objects, this one. But because I knew that at some point I'm going to voxel merge these together, I didn't do like the fingernail details and all that at the start. So I just like did kind of like the anatomy is still wrong, but but I kind of just like work on like the bigger shapes first, and then after that voxel merge this, and then when I'm happy with the overall shape of the hands, then I went in to do like the smaller stuff. Like I think, yeah. And then for like her torso and her arm, because she has a shirt with a sleeve over here, So I don't need to worry about voxel merging these these three things together, because the sleeve is blocking the, so it looks like this, but the sleeve is blocking the like kind of like the seam, the intersection lines. So I'll know like, oh, once I'm done voxel merging this and her torso to her neck to her head, that like is done, like I don't need to voxel merge anymore. And then that's when I went in to do like the detailing, like her eyebrows and stuff, because like doing things like this, if I have to voxel merge again, like unless you have a lot of RAM, which I do have a lot of RAM, but I just try not to do it. Okay, let me just undo that. Yeah, I really like Crease brush for drawing, but it works better with dynamic topology, like this. So I have dynamic topology switched on, because if you use it with the multi-res, like this one, like it doesn't really, like you need to subdivide quite a bit to, like even when I subdivide, you can see like the squares are stretching out again. Probably you can use quad remesher, but I've just been using dynamic topology so that it follows the mesh. But yeah, Crease brush is, yeah, I think it just works for drawing if it's with dynamic topology. Okay, let me. I feel like I need some water. I think Crease brush is like, it's normally used for like clothes folds like this, less so for drawing. Let me charge my phone. So before I start, there's a few things that I want to do. Oh, and like this was done using Crease brush. Something like this was like used with brush, drag, and crease, and planner tool. Yeah, I think I just use defaults. Although I guess like it'll be nice to have a texture painting, a brush, like paint brush with, yeah, with some like texture painting. But I always feel like I don't have time to to look up on this kind of stuff. Okay, so I'm going to switch off the color for a bit. I hope it's not, I think it's fine. Are you going to 3D print this? Well, I wish I could, but probably not in recent, not for now. But yeah, I do wish that it just, I guess like it's just too expensive for now for me. Like it doesn't make sense. So like I've 3D printed one of my projects, as in I got someone to do it for me, and it's really small. but like it's like quite like something like this was about, was it like 150 Sing dollar? Wait, no, 110. And like it just doesn't work out for me. Why is a pivot point here? I don't understand. I just realized that the pivot points are wrong. Let me adjust. When did this happen? You can see when I'm adjusting pivot points or gizmo and all that stuff, I'm just doing it one axis at a time. It's something that I went through in my tutorials, and I'll like explain a lot more in future tutorials. But yeah, like I feel like this not like a beginner's thing. Like I even do it even after years of doing 3D stuff. It's just so much easier to like just like focus on one axis like this and then fix it. Okay, so I think now this one also. I'm not sure whether they are all instances, but I think some of them are instances, which means that even for object pivot, it will transfer to the changes will be transferred to other. Does it? Yeah, I don't, because like there's too many things going on. They're not instance them. Oh my god, what the hell? No. Okay, I'll just do this one last one. It really doesn't really matter actually. No, why did I instant them? Oh my god, I'm so stupid. I felt like sneezing. Oh my god. Oh my god. I should have instanced them. Why did I do this to myself? However. Hello, lacking luck. I feel like that's how I feel my day-to-day life. How to down, oh, so like let's see. Hello. I will explain this if I do. Will I do this in the next tutorial? Well, I'll probably explain it in my macropad tutorial if I have the time. But right now I have a button that is set to under interface. So add sub, this button, which is this one. So if I this is also like some accidental find, but if you set a macro key to add sub and you're in the gizmo tool, you can see that this pivot button is at the same place. So when I'm using the gizmo tool, I'm pressing this down. If you press on this, then it will hold. But I'm holding this down to adjust the pivot point. Like this is a, so like what I think what you're asking about that, how to yeah. So like what you're asking is how to adjust the pivot point is this one. And I'm just like pressing that button as I'm adjusting. And this is something that I really like with the macropad. And like something else is that under the advanced, I think. Oh no, like so some of the buttons here, if you click on the three buttons here, there's a toggle shortcut on key tab. I think by default it's either auto or on, which means that if I click on the button, it will just like switch between on and off, like that. Or like I think it was auto before. So like sometimes it will work and you see like sometimes it does the toggle instead of like that. And this really messed up with my workflow, so I just turn it off. Yeah, I should talk about this when I go through my macropad stuff. Yeah, so like my add sub is like it doesn't switch this on. And like if you have a macropad and like you try for yourself, I think you might like it off too, because it's just like more consistent that way. Yeah. Especially when I'm drawing, like let's say if I'm drawing this, you can see like I am just like alternating between this, and if I'm doing it so fast, I guess I'll just keep this. Like if I'm doing it so fast, sometimes like just clicking to activate is a lot more trouble than it's worth, I guess. Anyway, let me look at something. Don't know what the hell happened here. So with Nomad Sculpt, I think the only way to paint would be with vertex paint. Let me see. 100% I think is fine. And what that means is that vertex painting means that each color over here, I think I'll just paint if this color is fine. Oh, maybe I'll get this. Yeah, I need to change my key bind. I think if you want to set like a multi hotkey, like command something, alt something, you need like the proper keyboard. I think like so far using the iPad keyboard doesn't work at all for this kind of stuff. Okay. Why are you not working? What's the dynamic topology button not working all of a sudden? Okay, for some reason dynamic topology is not working on my macropad. Yes. Anyway. You can see the paint. Back to what I was talking about. You can see that the paint is applied to the vertex. That's why it's called vertex painting. Like this. So that means that the more vertices you have, the more detailed it will be. So like something like this with a lot of vertices, you can see that it's like more detailed than maybe something like this. So first thing that I want to do is to just check that. Why is dynamic topology working now? Guess it backed up for a bit. Is to check that I have enough, and I don't need so high, I just want enough. So I think like around 100% detail is good enough for me, and I don't need to do everything. I want to focus on like edges like that, and that's why I don't need the paint right now. I think this one. Maybe 120% is nice. I mean, obviously I want to work on everything forever, but I don't have that kind of luxury to spend forever on something. So instead, I'll just kind of like pick and choose my battles. Like the work that I did on stream for this, for doing these things, it's like good enough for me. Or at least I tell myself that it should be good enough. So like this is too low poly. And the other thing is that when smoothing the mesh, it kind of like smudges the paint too. Like let's say if I go to, where are you? Like if I go to this one, it smudges it. So like I need to be careful, like I'm not doing this smoothing thing when I have paint on it. And I guess also I'll keep the paint on for this just to make sure that I'm not messing it up completely. But that's why I'm smoothing it out now, so that I don't need to do it again later. Like doing the double work of like smoothing and then losing my paint, and after that going back to painting. Like just do this first. You have a smooth, yeah, I have a smooth brush shortcut. It's assigned to this button here. And like, just so you know, my macropad is the aoikyte, which is meant for Procreate. But I realized that I like the size of it, and I've been using it a lot for Nomad Sculpt. I haven't been using it for Procreate because Procreate doesn't let you assign brush shortcut keys and all that stuff, and like it just doesn't really feel that intuitive for me for Procreate, which is the funny thing, I guess. But under interface, no, yeah, under quick, there's a smooth shortcut. So the shortcut here is different from the other one. So you can set, where's the smooth? Oh, so you can set a smooth toolbox, and this icon here means that you are choosing the one here and not the one here. So these are shortcut buttons, which is under the quick menu here. So smooth shortcut, and this is the one that allows you to, like when you click on this, you're toggling between this and whatever is chosen here. So it's different from, like, let's say if I chose smooth, you can see like the button here is not activated anymore. So there are like small differences like that for some of the key presses like that. And yeah, I have dynamic topology for smooth brush, and it's actually like one of the ways that I get, like, let's say if I'm like drawing shit like this and like, wow, it's so pixelated, then I use the smooth tool to like go over and increase the resolution. So that's something that I like to do too. And like when you switch dynamic topology on, why are you not working? I don't understand. Yes, today I've encountered a bug where my shortcut the macropad just like doesn't work on this. Why? Oh, that's a new one. So now it's Nomad Sculpt version 2.2. And I guess this is new, I think. Okay. So like in like before this, when you turn on dynamic topology, it will, for like the first time, it will turn on dynamic topology for everything. And that's why I have dynamic topology for the smooth tool too, like that. But I think sometimes like with the drag tool, like let's say you can see that it became pixelated, so I want it off. Why are you not working? This is so annoying. So that like sometimes when I want to just do shape correction, I have it off. But I guess it was requested for like a global on off. That means if you switch it off for one tool, it will switch off for everything else. But I don't do that, so I'm going to ignore this. But I'm not really sure why the shortcut key is not working anymore. Why? I can't. Let me just restart Nomad Sculpt or something. So first time I'm encountering this problem of the hotkey not working for Nomad Sculpt. Why can't I turn you off now? Where was it? It's so weird. This should work. Why is it not working? Maybe it's about, because like if you have been if you have been on the stream since just now, you would know that this was working until a while ago. What the hell happened? Oh man. Yeah, so like I can switch it on for, I can switch it on, but I can't switch it off. I feel like I can be quite positive that this is a bug. Like I normally don't, I'll normally like question myself first, and then it will turn out that it really was like a user error kind of thing. But I think this, like for the first time, this is a bug that I'm experiencing. So this is inside, I don't care about it. This one's outside, and get it. And because I have the bug right now, I'm not going to do that much. I'm just going to do very minimal. So I think this one too. So like my issue is that like I spend too much time on something. So like I'm always, I guess like it's pretty stressful, but I'm always trying to think of ways to cut down on the time spent on something. I think this one I can shift it up like this. This one doesn't really have a lot of details, but I guess it's alright. Sculptor, don't say sorry. Like I'm really happy to talk about all these kind of stuff. More like thank you for joining the stream and like engaging with me. I really appreciate it. Did I not fix this the last time? Oh, I guess I undid it. Do not shrink your details. Oh. Yeah, you know the smooth brush, if you don't have dynamic topology on. So like, I think what you're saying, I think this is kind of like what you're saying about the smooth brush shrinking stuff, which is, it's always a lot easier to do it on a, let me find, maybe this one. So if I have the smooth brush on right now, I think something sharper would be better. Like this. Like that. What it's doing is just averaging the, let me do it with the distance between the vertices. So let's say if you have like actually, why am I doing this? So let's say if you have these kind of like shapes on your face, if you use the smooth brush, it's going to try to average the distance between the vertices. So it become like that. And so like this is good. This is bad for things like my sculpt. So let's say if I want to add detail to this, what I will do would be to like increase the resolution, and then, but only do this if you have already finalized your design. That means like your overall shape of it is good. You just want to kind of like retain the details like that. Then I'm going in to add more polygons. I mean, honestly, I don't really need to, but just doing a demo. But the good thing about having the smooth brush without dynamic topology, or I guess like with even less, is that using this concept of like averaging the thing. So like let's say if like I've done some shit to my mesh like that, and like wow, this is so messy and like it's so lumpy like that. And if I increase the resolution for it, then you can see like wow, I'm retaining things that I don't want to be retained like this. So if I use like, I think without dynamic topology too, it will just average out the distance. Like that, you can see like it's averaging the distance. Or I can do like this, and then it will smooth it out like that. So yeah, like I mean, probably because like I think you probably haven't used it that much before, but you can try these kind of things, and different things have different uses. Something will be good for one thing and like really bad for another. But like once you understand like how, like which one is good for what thing, it makes it really versatile. Like I'll be thinking like, oh, I need this for this specific thing, and I'll use the same tool like to do something completely different. Which is kind of also why like I don't really, oh, this dynamic topology is not on. It's also the reason why I don't have a lot of custom brushes, because I feel like the default brushes are good enough for what I need. Like you can see like just with the smooth brush, I can do 3 completely different things with it. And it's like, it's good enough for me. I think I did try to download someone else's like custom brushes before, but like, I think this looks pretty nice, but do I want to keep it? Maybe not. So I did download someone else's custom brush, but I think it's probably the nature of the way that, like, I think it's the way that these are set up. Like, not that it's bad or anything, but I always felt like whenever I try to adjust these things, that it introduces, like, especially with the edges and like with a flat, like the flattened brush, like that. I feel like sometimes the custom brushes that's made for like flattening better, or like trying to emulate the polish tools from ZBrush, that it does work very nicely, but then it's not nice on everything. And because I really like to do detailed stuff, I'm going to encounter a lot of edges and all that stuff, and like there's always a lot of artifacting on edges, I feel, with custom brushes. But that's why I remove them. And then I just stick to like, why are you doing this? I shouldn't spend too long on this. Have I gone one round? I think. I feel like this one is too low poly, so I'm going to, especially with, I don't want to lose that. like very thin stuff like that, I need to use the smooth tool really close up and give it more mesh. This is too low poly. This one, I guess this one is alright. Oh, like the other thing with smooth brush without dynamic topology is that for thin meshes it will just like average and like get thinner and thinner and thinner. So have to be careful with thin stuff. Like I think if I do this, eventually it will just get like really, really thin. Yeah, so that's just like smoothing it out, and it's just going to keep averaging itself and disappear. Is there anything else? This one. Sometimes I like to keep these kind of low poly nicks, and then once you increase the topology, the resolution for it, it looks like an intentional, like a chip off the edge, which is a really nice detail. I feel it's like a really cheap detailing that you can get super fast. Let me smooth this. I think I went around this one. I'm just looking at stuff that catches my eye. So something like this happened because of the crease brush cutting in. Let me see. So I'm very focused on the edges. And once I'm done with this, I can do like a cleaner pass of painting, because the paint that I did was quite rough. Oh, this one actually that looks nice. But only looks nice from one angle. Maybe I want to do like halfway. Okay. Probably the problem with this is that it's just too straight. Okay. Here's something else that I should talk about for macropad, because I have like all these stuff in the background, and sometimes when I zoom out too much and like this, then like the object in front can block the way. So I have a button just for solo. Where is it? Where is the solo? I feel like I really can't with this. I can't remember where things are. Yeah. Where's the solo button? Oh yeah, here. So I have this button for soloing objects. Let's say if I'm working on that and then suddenly my screen is like this. And the way that something that would be very good for, like, if you're really new to Nomad Sculpt, this was something that's like, once I understand this, I was like, what the hell, man? Like, why didn't I think of this earlier? Is that wherever you click, that's where the camera will rotate around, pivot around from. So let's say if I click on this thing, now the camera is going to pivot around that object. So like, but sometimes like it blocks the whole screen. And so when that happens, and I already know that I have a selection here, then I will solo this and then get back to it. And then that's what I did just now. Like, it felt a bit fast, but that's essentially, you see like this thing's blocking now. But I haven't let go of my hand yet, so I can just safely get out of the way. Do you have a Discord channel? Nope, I don't have a Discord channel. I know that people have been asking about it, but I don't know shit about Discord, honestly. I think I'm just not made for that kind of stuff. For some reason, live streaming is fine. Like, maybe because I am doing it for a purpose. Like, I am doing it for overcoming some sort of fear of something. But this looks quite nice. But then maybe I'll keep this and then I'll move it back up like that. All these are accidental, but it's always good. Like, all these, probably a lot of them are just accidental. And then, oh, it was shrinking your hair strands. Yeah, I think this, like, working with these kind of stuff. Oh, you can see like this. I'm going to sometimes when I feel like it is shrinking, it was still shrinking too much, then I'll just bump it up for this specific thing. Because I don't want to lose too much. Orange means that the back face is showing up, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for this, for my own stuff. It matters if you are working in like a team project or like a project where I need to bring it to for 3D printing, or if you're doing 3D printing, animation, that kind of stuff, rigging, then yeah, that's like a no-no. But I'm just doing my stuff for my own thing. So let me see. And then I'll bring it back because I don't need so high for. And this number is just based on intuition of like just sculpting for many hours and seeing how it feels over time. And I kind of know that for something like this, 160% is like overkill. It really doesn't have to be that much. Oh, I wanted to fix this. Okay. Wait, hair strands is a little tough at first, but it is fun like once you get used to it. The other thing for hair strands though is that, let's say I have this something like this. And maybe something else would be better. I think something like, let me try to find something that will demonstrate better. Will this be good? I feel like I've already split up the ones that I want to split up. Okay, so like maybe something like this. So I have one strand here, and two here, and one here, and I can paint this. I normally paint without dynamic topology because it's like having painting with dynamic topology is like doing two things at once. I don't really like that. Okay, so like I have this one strand here, another one here, and another one here. So when you drag this around, it's going to affect the others too. So like something that I like to do would be to split up the pieces that I feel like I want them to be like close together, but I want to have individual controls on them. Like I'll just use the split tool. Oh wait, no, I shouldn't do this. And this is also why it's better to split it while it's still at the basic shape. So something like this, I split it up, and then now I can control like one single strand. And then if I control this one, you can see like it's not affecting this anymore. And if I want to, then I'll split this off so that I can control this individually. So that's something that I did for this. And like from far it looks like decent enough, and I think I want to split some more. This one's two. For something like this, I don't want dynamic topology on to adjust the shape. But then I know like with the smooth tool there's dynamic topology, so the workflow is pretty fast like this. Actually, I feel like I've never deactivated I think I haven't deactivated dynamic topology for smooth brush. Okay, so time to paint properly. I mean, it doesn't really have to be that proper if I think about it. I think just good enough for something like this. I mean, it's just a work in progress, right? So it doesn't really matter like how. But I think I do want to. So like the back face, I can do it quite. I can do it quite rough. And let me rotate this so that it's within the view and. Got this back. Pink. I like the way that the colors synergize together. So these are the colors that I like, and I'm going to like the reds in the skin. It's just a really light right light color of this, and then smudge it. Okay, and then I think something else. Check roughness. Okay. I know that this one is shiny, so this is shiny. This one is quite matte. I really like the Apple Pencil squeeze. When I was on the bus the other day and I was painting, and like I think the eye drop is here. It's like it's a bit hard when I'm trying to hold everything down when like the bus is like super shaky, and then I'm like trying to click this, and also like I semi-dislocated my thumb from not doing a safety roll properly while jumping off the climbing wall. It's so annoying, but it hasn't. I know how to take care of it, so I haven't stopped exercising because of this. But it's quite hard for me to like press this. Like it hurts this a bit. But then I was thinking to myself, like, wait a minute, I don't really have to. Once I'm on the paint tool, which I've assigned initially for the squeeze, I don't need to change it back. And like, if I really do need to smudge, then I'll just click on the smudge. And I was like, oh my god, I should just assign the material picking to this. And then I did that. And ever since then, I was hooked on painting stuff. Like, painting is so much fun. I couldn't do it in my... What are you doing? I couldn't do it for... I guess this is shiny. Can't tell. I'm not sure whether I want this shiny or not. Yeah, I guess I want it shiny, I don't know. Okay, so I've confirmed that the roughness and metalness is what I want. Metalness, roughness. You can only view the roughness and metalness by the lit PBR mode, this one. You can't see it on the matcap mode, that's why I was in lit PBR mode. Wait, why am I not charging my iPad? Alright, I was disconnected it. So I don't really need this open right now. This is the back side, so I don't really need to. And as usual, like using the smooth tool to get resolution. I think that's enough. Wait, this is the back. Oh, and I duplicate it like this so that I have. But maybe I'll just. Wait, no, I should instance this. I really like having this palette. I think before I made this, before I made this, like oh, you should go to the doctor about that. Well, thank you for your concern, but I will see the physio about it at the end of, like near the end of the month. So I think so far I've done, so like the thing with like let's say this is something I learned from years of going to physio and all that, is that when something like that happens, that you don't want to stretch your muscles. So you don't want to be at like the end ranges like this or like that. And you do want to do some work on it to promote blood flow to your muscles. So like when something happens to you, then I guess like there'll be a lot of like waste materials generated, and having blood flow is like one of the most effective way to kind of like bring in like white blood cells and stuff into the area and to bring out all the waste materials. So like something that I like to do now with this is to go, it's like something that we learn from, my boyfriend and I learn from people who do weightlifting. They have a bucket of rice, like uncooked rice, like just rice grains, and then like you put your hand in and then you do like exercises in it, like extensors. So what this one does is that, what the hell is this? Why did the ink get onto my hand? And then yeah, so like this is extensors, and then you can do like a spinning thing to, and all these essentially work on the muscles on the forearm. So like the forearm muscles connects up to the tendons over here. So there's some muscles on the palms, but most of the time, and like for artists, like if you're an artist like me, this is really important that you make sure that the muscles here, like all these muscles would be not tight, like somewhat flexible and also strong, so that we can, because like as artists we are always like this, like we are always doing this, and we are rarely ever doing like that or like this. So that is really important for healthy hands. Like, can see, I'm not sure whether it's because I've been climbing, so my forearms are like getting stronger, but okay, maybe if I do this, no, I guess I'm not strong enough yet. Oh, so like let's say I'm moving like this right now, and you can do it yourself too, but you can see, like, you see the forearm muscles are moving right now when I do that. So these are the muscles that connects up to your hands. And I think for the thumb, like, I think for the thumb is like this one. And some of the muscles here for me is like tight. This one, the pollicus, I think this is called pollicus or something. This muscle here, yeah, this muscle is quite sore right now because of the subluxation. That's what it's called. I learned from physio that semi-dislocation is called a subluxation. And the danger of like not like doing anything or like not moving at all after getting this kind of physical accidents and stuff is that I've known quite a lot of people who have gotten into, who have like injured themselves and they never do anything about it, and then their hands are like permanently, like they are not able to move it anymore because they never get it checked, or like they don't do the exercises to get it back to its normal range of motion. And I'm always very interested in this kind of stuff, but that's why I know. Yeah, I would say like in my years of going to the doctors, or like over here is like, what is it, general practitioners, is it, the GPs, is that not every doctor knows what to do. And like it's very obvious, they're known more for like treating illnesses, and not everyone is like an expert in mobility and physical activity. If you have injured yourself like me, truly recommend going to a physio that is good, because not all physios are good. And like with physiotherapy, I think one of the issues is that people expect to go there and like get their problems fixed instantly, or like get their problems fixed by someone else. But actually, like with physiotherapy, like I feel one of the more important things for it is that you learn to understand like what happened to your muscles and all that, and then get the correct exercises to do so that you can do them safely. And like if you feel pain, then you want to follow up with the physiotherapist, be like, oh, I'm in pain when I do this, what do I do? Because it's not about like, oh, I'm in pain, I should stop doing it. Like you need to find a way to like adjust whatever so that it fits your current condition, because everyone's body is different. And then yeah, I used to injure my ankle a lot, and I've torn like my Achilles tendon partially because I didn't know shit last time on how to take care of myself. But then now I know that how to take care of myself. It's really fun to go for a run. And like when I'm in pain, then I'm like, oh, I know what to do about it. Yeah, I really wish that there was like I knew about going to a good physio when I was younger, because I feel like I am trying to undo a lot of shit I've done to myself. Okay, so this one. Oh, it's something else that I learned from YouTube physios. There's a physio channel called E3 Rehab, which I really like. And I think one of the most important lessons that I learned from them is how to monitor yourself so that you know like that the physical exercise that you're doing is correct for your body, which is to oh yeah, like I used to work in like VFX company, and I know so many people with like back pain, neck pain, hand pain, and I used to be someone with lower back pain and wrist pain. Actually, now that I think about it, my wrist hasn't been in pain anymore because I've been exercising it. But yeah, like yeah, I really wish that how to say that this kind of things is more common knowledge, I guess. So I used to have pain on like here and here and here. Let me see. So like one of the problems is that because I used to be pretty weak on my hands, which I didn't know. But so that means that when I feel like at the speed that I'm going, because I still don't really know like what I'm doing right now. I'm just going to work on like really big shapes, I guess. But anyway, like back to my wrist. So something that I didn't know until I met a physio is that, until my physio pointed out, I mean, is that, oh, I need to rotate this now. Maybe I should do like some triangle shape thing. But like in my day-to-day life, let's say if I'm carrying something really heavy, then I don't know whether, so let's say if I'm carrying something really heavy, and I think a lot of girls will do this too, is that my hand will drop down like this because of the weight of the object. And like this is something that I do by default. So like I'll be carrying something and then I drop my hand down. But because of like years of doing that, I have like compression in the bones here, like the tendons and the ligaments. And so like when I'm drawing and stuff, like I do feel it sometimes over here. And so my physio exercise for that is by doing hammer curls. It's very hard to show everything by this, but you're holding the dumbbells, like imagine this is the dumbbell. You're holding it like you're hammering something, and then you bring it down to the side of your legs, and then you bring it up 90 degrees, and then you do that like 3 times 10. So now when I'm holding stuff, I'm very conscious to not drop my hand like this, because it's not that it's bad, but it's just like you don't want to be imbalanced where like you're always doing this 90% of the time. So now I think my hair is pretty good now. So I haven't had any hand or wrist pains doing sculpting and stuff. And then lower back is more complicated because there's so many muscles that connects to the spine. And then there's like your glutes, your butt, your legs, like all these things any tightness in them can cause back pain. So I got that fixed too by doing exercise that is suitable for me. And like it's so, like whenever I see posts of like artists talking about artists talking about like, oh my god, they're in so much pain, like they wish that they can just like paint with their heads or something, as in like those telekinetic like painting with mind control and all that stuff. And then I'll be like, oh man, I wish that more artists would know how to take care of themselves, like through exercise. And yeah, I really enjoy doing art without pain now. And I feel like I'm really lucky that I've met a really good physio who can teach me this kind of stuff. Because I've done like TCM and stuff, like acupuncture or like massages or like cupping and all that. And like they do work in some sense, but they only work to like solve the pain, because you're going to go home for the week and you're just going to like do the same problems over and over again. And like it will just cause the problem to like come back to you. So like maybe if you have money, you can spend like the $90 per week to get someone to like massage the shit out of you, but it's really not a long-term solution. I feel like maybe in a few years time that I do want to talk about like physical exercises that I do to like help with, because like even sitting down all day is like a problem. Like it's an anatomy, like mobility problem to do that. I think maybe I'll just smudge this out now. I think vertex painting is not like it's not really the best for the stuff that I do. I think it works a lot nicer with more uniform polygons. But I think it's good enough. Okay, let me just do like bigger strokes here. Actually, I just remembered that I was talking about just talking about E3 rehab, and the thing that I found really helpful is that whenever you do an exercise, you want to, like, for the first thing is think about how you feel before the exercise, and then how you feel during the exercise, and how your body feels after the exercise and the day after the exercise. So it's quite tedious, but it's the way that I've been doing to monitor myself, especially when I have injuries like this, to make sure that I am doing the right thing for it. And actually, the good thing about, because I do bouldering right now, the good thing about bouldering is that I'm always hanging off something, so it does stretch the muscles a bit, and it works the muscles, which is really good for rehabbing. So yeah, I think I'm really lucky that I really enjoy bouldering, because I feel like with bouldering it solves a lot of issues with being like a sedentary artist. Okay, I'm just doing like big, because this is a back face, I'm just doing like big strokes just to scatter the different colors around like that, because like it's not really like final or anything, and actually something like this is really good enough. I was just trying to wrap my head around like what I'm supposed to do, and I think I'm getting more used to it, so I am working a bit faster. Like the inner areas where there's a concave like this, then I'll do a darker color, but I don't want it to be all like that. I don't want it to be too flat, so something like this is nice. So I'll use the intermediate color like this to like brush up the areas which looks a bit too flat like that. And then I think this one is like too dark right now, so I will go back in with the base color and just something like that. I'm looking at the overall picture right now to just looking at the overall color. So like something like this looks a bit dull, so I think this color is quite saturated. Something like this. Do I want to color this part? Sometimes having this basic color is also nice. Right now it looks a bit dull like this. So I have a very bright saturated color that I use for highlighting. So highlight maybe this part like this. Very light touches. So maybe I do want it to be even lighter. It's just easier to control like that. And I don't really like to switch between the brush and the smudge tool. So it's good for me to just do very light brush strokes and get it done. And then areas where it intersects will be darker and like this. Of course, when there's lighting, then it will also create shadows and all that stuff. And I think with post-processing, yeah, with post-processing there's ambient occlusion, this one. So that kind of helps with that. So I don't really have to worry too much about, except for like this one is too, because this green is not the main color for her hair. The main color is still this like pale green thing. But actually, like, talking about the like not putting it at the end range of motion while it's still feeling quite bruised, is that doing this, like holding the iPad on the bus and like clicking on this, that's kind of like putting the hand on like the most stretched position, which is not good right now, because anything that causes pain, like lifting too heavy or stretching at the end range, is not good while it's recovering. Like, it's not that I'm avoiding it forever. Like, that's the key point. You don't want to avoid that forever, but then you have to work within the limits of your body, like what it can handle. So the flowers here, I wanted to blend a little bit to the hair, which is like what you can see over here. I've really kind of like just lightly touch. Oh, actually I want that part to be darker. I'm not really a good painter, I feel. So I'm kind of like just trying to work on like in some sense also like work within my limits of like what I can do, or else I will never finish anything. So like I'm going to kind of like bleed the colors a little bit into there, like this. So you can see like instantly it looks like it feels seamless, like they exist together. And of course this one is, I want it to be darker, and then yeah, it becomes a little bit hard to navigate around when when there's so many things in the scene. Oh my god, it's very hard to work on something that I cannot really rotate around sometimes. Yeah, I hope that the Physio talk is not like off-putting to anyone who stumbled upon my stream. I just feel like it's so important because I've injured myself so many times, and like Lacking Luck says, I do know quite a lot of people who have kind of like permanent, like in some sense do a lot of permanent damage. No, I'm not going to say permanent, but a lot of really bad damage to themselves because of like sitting down all day and not moving around as much as we all need to. Okay, so I think that is good enough. I don't know whether I want to paint this part. Maybe I want to. It's really about the overall picture for me. Like, that is good enough. Or else it will never be finished, I think. So the other thing with mobility is that I feel like including me in the past, I feel like I didn't know like how complex the human body is. Like even one forearm, there are like so many muscles that is involved with this. Oh, actually, like the funny thing was that I didn't know that the muscles over here is it's like really interconnected with this, and like drawing like this all the time. That's why drawing like this all the time, like for your whole life, and like if you don't work on like the opposites, or if you don't work on stretching this muscle out, that it will cause a lot of problems in the future. I think this part needs some color. Sculpture to okay, I think this is good enough for me, because I just want to disperse the colors around. Like, it's not really about it being very detailed or anything. Something else that I like is that I've added these red colors, and I don't remember whether maybe I added this color. I like that her lips are a shade of like a redder shade, like more orange than this, because I think if I do this, then like it's too, I feel like it's too samey, if you get what I mean. Thunder is intense. I feel like sometimes the thunder in Singapore is really scary. Yeah, if you find my random physio talk helpful, I'm really happy to. I'm really happy that I could share it with you, because I really wish that I knew so many of the things that I knew now, so that I could take care of my body better when I was younger. Because like the older you get, and the more years you is this the same end? Oh my god, I feel like I really can't do anything about this end. But like the older you get, it just means like the more years you have spent doing that bad habit, and then like the muscles are tighter. You have a lot of like overlapping problems that stacks up, and then it becomes harder to fix things. Not that it's impossible. Like, I've seen 80-year-old, 90-year-old people on YouTube trying to do weightlifting for the first time, and it's really inspiring when I see that. But where is this? But then it just means that you will need more like patience and dedication, which I feel like a lot of people, they get so frustrated, including people like my parents. They don't really believe me because I feel like they have their own like what's it called? They have their own like conception of things based on their own experiences, and it's very fair to believe in things based on your own experiences. The other good thing is that I want to add some gold edges. So the shirt is quite matte, which will make the gold edging stand out even more. I really like this. I think if I like, it's more obvious with post-processing. Maybe I'll add a little bit. Oh, today's thunder is quite bad, I think. Not sure. I guess it's just normal here. At least it's not like the whipping type of like thunder, like the one that like whips, like it sounds like a whiplash or something. At least this one has some bass in it, so this thunder is not too bad. The whiplash one is like really scary. Sounds like it'll be a heavy rain. Yeah, I think so. Although like in Singapore, sometimes the rain is quite unpredictable. Sometimes it will rain when it's really bright and sunny. Oh man, today is supposed to be my run. I'm supposed to do 7 minutes run, 2 minutes walk, and 3 sets. I hope that it rains before. No, I want to run. Because I fell sick. I fell sick 2 weeks ago, so I had to stop running. I'm doing the Couch to 5K program, and then I had to stop running because I fell sick. It's so annoying. Especially with running, like it's so important to like make sure that you are doing things. Why is this so dark? It's very important to do things. Consistency is a lot better than suddenly like, oh, I'm going to run 10K today, when like, yeah, it's better to run like 1K every day than to run like 10K every 10 days. That's something that I learned from injuring myself. Do I want any color in this? But it's so tempting with running to like just push really hard. But anyway, like that's why I get really upset when I fall sick and I can't like get that consistent low output when I need to. Do I want it here? Oh no. I think this one looks quite... I guess it looks quite alright. Let me instance this and bring it. Can you bring it here? I will do a tutorial on my like macropad, macro keys one day, because I think it would be something that, I mean, since on stream, I feel like that's one of the common questions on stream. So, wait, what am I doing? So it's definitely on my to-do list. But the next tutorial that I'm doing would be on scale, like something related to medieval, how to make medieval armor. I think scale armor would be a good one. Actually, since if you have stayed on this stream, I want to, wait, oh my god, it's too many things. I want to show you something. The shit that I do. Like, this is like the coolest shit that I've ever done. Yeah, sneak peek to the next tutorial. Although I'm not really sure like how am I going to like do this, to go about doing this, because the tutorial is just for making the scale armor, like this part and this part, and it's not everything. But I was thinking like this is going to be like the coolest YouTube thumbnail ever. Oh my god, this always cracks me up. I love this so much. I think this is from JoJo. I love JoJo so much. This is, I think, Joseph, Joestar, and Caesar. And then this one is Steel Ball Run. Man, I'm quite hyped for Steel Ball Run, but at the same time I'm not really sure how. Wait, did I not save? No, I saved. Okay, thank god. Sometimes when I switch around things, I'm like, I feel like I'm so used to like I like Nomad Sculpt so much, but that's also a problem because like I feel like I forget to do certain things because I'm too comfortable and too complacent. Yeah, I'm really excited to finish up the next tutorial. Okay, I think so. Something that I like to do with painting is to have these accent colors like this. Wow, yes, wow. Oh, I'm so hyped for the next tutorial to come out. Like, I feel like I shouldn't be having this much fun with the tutorials, but I am. It's quite crazy. Like, when I started making my first tutorial, as in before I started making my first tutorial, in my mind I was like, oh, it's gonna be like straightforward. I'm just gonna talk about the things that are in the tutorial and all that stuff. And then as the tutorial went on, I started doing like stupid shit, which you have seen if you watch the 2 tutorials that I've made. Like, they just came out organically, and I love it so much for that. Like, it makes me really excited to do more tutorials, honestly. This part is too white, but not sure whether I want this to be golden. I'm moving too much, so I need to, maybe I'll shrink this down and then bring it up like this. I think the rain is not as heavy as the lightning sounds, but it is quite heavy. I need to drink some water. Actually, why is my screen slanted? Oh my god, so stupid. It's called Tura. Thanks for sticking on to stream. I've been like really hyped to like show the behind the scenes of the next tutorial. So it's nice that I could show it to someone. Like just one person is good enough for me. It's gonna be exciting, I think. I'm not really sure, like the script is not, I think I've only done 1/4 of the script. And after that, I was spending time doing the poses. Initially, I was thinking like, which JoJo pose should I follow? Like, do I do this one or do that one? And then I end up just doing everything because it's so fun. But I do need to fix the. I need to fix the what's that? The mesh and all that. You can see like how useful this thing is. Oh, and like back to the accent color, I think. I guess it's not really that much more saturated, but I need to switch this off, I guess. Okay, it's fine. Sure, I need to go now. I always feel like during the time when I have to go is the time when I work the fastest, which is really annoying. Because I'll be like, oh, I'll be in the groove and all that, but then I have to go. Okay. Oh man, how do I? Or maybe I should just climb today. I don't know. The rain looks quite. The rain looks like it's gonna last quite a long time. So I'm trying to add like some contrast. So the gold is quite light in color. So what I do next is to add like this. Add this darker color like this. So it creates a, and then smudge it a bit. Like instantly it creates like a visual interest to me. And then sometimes I'll add like the intermediate colors like this in the darker areas, something like that. And then sometimes I'll add the accent between like the dark colors and the light colors, like this. Then that's essentially how I paint this thing. Yeah, I think I can run later. Oh, so annoying. I don't like to run on the treadmill too because I'm not like super fit. So like my calves, my calves are quite tight from like sitting down all day, and then I need to focus on the bigger shapes because like now it's like too blocky like this. But like I'm kind of like running with like a really mild, like how to say, like I'm not running with a lot of pain, but because I'm unfit right now, my body will act up while I'm running. But because of that, like I prefer running outside rather than running on the treadmill, because like on the treadmill, like there's no visual change in the environment, and then I'm not even sure whether or not I should be streaming right now because of the lightning and all that. Like with the treadmill, like there's no visual change at all. So my body will, like my mind will just like hyper focus on my area of weaknesses, and then it makes it really hard to like run more than 10 minutes for me on the treadmill. Well, that's why I prefer running outside. But obviously if it's raining like this, I cannot run. I'm not really sure if, so like the indentation, I'll do it darker, and something like this I can add like some highlights to it. But I'm not really sure whether I want it to be more saturated in the center like this, because it's kind of nice to have this kind of variation that this is not happening everywhere. So that's why I'm going super light on this, because I think I want to keep the look, but I'm just like do I even need to do this? Okay, there's so much detail that I don't even know like what I need to fix. And so obviously I'm really tired from exercising more than I'm used to. So my brain is not really working right now. I'm glad that my brain is working enough to answer the questions on stream. But I feel like it's overloading right now. I'm just doing this. And keep forgetting that I'm on smudge. I also like the way that it's lighter up there, I think. So maybe I'll just, but I think I'll add like some color to this side, like this. Just doing what I can. I think this is one of the areas that I need to add the gold parts. Like this. And then darken this part. Yeah, I think that looks nice. Also, like, just by the logic that intersections will be darker than the water bases. Yep, I'm gonna hide this. Like this, it looks a lot cleaner this way. Singapore is GMT. Oh no, Backing Love, why are you? I hope it's not 6 AM, but will the what be? What is what? Oops. Singapore is GMT +8, I guess. Oh, right now it's 6 PM. Oh, you tried. Oh, I'm really glad that I could help with your problem, Sculptura. I will do a tutorial on on how I use dynamic topology, and I think that one will be pretty good too, because I think these were things that I picked up video on demand. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Well, this is a live stream and it's already on my channel, but yeah, I have to go soon anyway. And the Masma Wilder thing, the sculpt, is going to be in my next tutorial, so that's going to be up. I hope that I can do it faster this time around, the tutorial. But yeah, like the dynamic topology thing, it's these are things that I learned on my own. Like they were self-taught from just messing around and like working on. So like I had the same experience where like before dynamic topology and all that, like it was so frustrating to work on my sculpts. Like it felt like I was just trying to troubleshoot things rather than making art, if that makes sense. And then after I tried dynamic topology and like figure out what it does and like how to use it and all that, then suddenly I was like, oh, I really love sculpting. Like it's quite insane, like the difference in the experience like of making art when something works for you compared to something that just doesn't. Because I know like a lot of people, they like to do subdivision and like modeling, hard surface modeling, all that stuff. That's just not something that I'm really interested in. I've tried it before, but it's not something that I'm interested in. And like as usual, I really love Nomad Sculpt. I really wish that I had it a long time ago, because I wouldn't have picked up sculpting if it wasn't for Nomad Sculpt. Like I've tried ZBrush before and it just like I think it doesn't feel like this. Like I know that it's more professional and it is good for, I think in terms of like modeling things, like for the sculpt, ZBrush would be a lot better. But for what I'm doing, it's I like Nomad Sculpt a lot more. I mean, there's some stuff that I feel that I wish that Nomad Sculpt has, but it's quite insignificant. And I keep forgetting that it's just one person working on this. It's quite insane. Okay, I'm going to add some color there and some color here. But just like there are like different ways to shade things. Yeah. Oh yeah, like the other thing is the ZBrush interface feels very it doesn't really feel that cute, I guess. I'm all about cute stuff, which is quite weird, I guess. There are a few ways that you can shade stuff. So you can shade things like this, where like the shadow is less than 50%, or you can shade things like this, or you can even like shade things like this, like that. So I tend to prefer doing something like this because it makes the subject look lighter. So that's what I'm keeping in mind over here, where like I'm not doing the dark part in huge amounts, something like that. because it's really different from like this, but I feel like this is too much, so this is good enough. And then this one's pretty nice like this, but I'm going to increase the resolution a bit because it's a bit this part is a bit messy, so I will maybe use this color. Yeah, I'll use this color to okay, the rain has lightened up a bit, but I think it's quite hard to tell. There's been days when the rain in Singapore will just keep going for 2 days, and at that time I couldn't run outside at all. I really hope that it's not that. I want to run. Or maybe I would really end up climbing. Who knows? I think here's something else that I learned from Physio, is that when we are sitting down and looking down at our screens all the time, sometimes we kind of like stretch our neck too far forward, and actually like that kind of overactivation on the back of the neck can contribute to migraines. So I used to have a lot of migraines, and I think like I guess like luckily for me, my migraines is not hormonal, like it's not caused by like chemical hormones and stuff in the body, because there are people who experience those, but mine is just from my neck being too like turtleneck forward. And the way to counter that would be to kind of like tuck your chin in whenever you do exercises like push-ups, planks, deadlifting, something like that. You can just like kind of like that. I guess this doesn't have neck, but I guess maybe it but that was like one of the coolest things that I learned from Physio, because as a kid I used to eat a lot of Panadol for my migraines, which is quite crazy. It's like oh, taking painkillers is like completely socially acceptable, but like when you try to tell people like, oh, you should try Physio and stuff, and then they'll be like, no, I'm strong, my muscle is strong. Like it's not socially acceptable to tell people like, oh, maybe there's something off like with the way that your mechanic is moving, all this stuff. But like to tell a kid to like take Panadol or paracetamol like at least like once every few days is like completely fine. Like now that I know what is causing my migraine, is kind of like mind-boggling to me how much Panadol I took, and like it's completely fine by my parents and like every other parent, like not just my parents. Like it's completely fine for anyone to like take painkillers. I don't want to do that. Oh, this one is quite why is kind of want to keep the vibe of this, but I do want to get some, what's this? I want to get some some saturation. And then, because this one is quite non-existent here, so I can put it on this. If I can remember to use the brush. But not too much, just a little bit. Something like that. And I think I do want this color over here. And the gold color on these. I think I've talked about this in my latest tutorial on the symmetry tutorial, but it's so helpful to under the gesture setting to limit the this select object to your fingers. So if you notice, like, I have to use my finger to select like that, and I do it on purpose because I think there's like too many times when like I'm working on it just like this, and then I wouldn't know like that I've accidentally clicked on this, and then I'll be painting on this instead. I'll be like, why am I not painting anything here? But then it's actually I was painting on this. So I didn't know that it could cause it can. So like turtlenecking can cause like the back. I think it's more of like, so it's not really wrong to do it. It's just like the usual thing of like imbalances if you don't work the other muscle. So because we sit down like this all the time, that you can see like there is a lot of pull on the muscle here and like the traps. Oh my god, my sister. And then because this muscle is like so activated and so pulled, that gradually it will start pulling on the structures of your head. And so like the migraine that I used to feel is like kind of like behind my eye, like somewhere here. Like I feel like this pulling sensation here. So the way to like counter that is to make this motion better. And like doing a lot of upper body workout at the gym is really helpful because our here will be super strong, but the pec muscle and the muscles here is just going to be very weak from just like doing this all the time. So when I'm like deadlifting or like doing I rarely do push-ups, but if I do, then I'll try to consciously tuck the chin in like that. Like imagine you want to do a double chin, and of course make sure that you're straight like this. Then that's good for working out these muscles on the neck and all that. Yeah, but not necessary that this is bad, but it can cause problems from imbalances and stuff. So this is like the best thing that I've learned from Physio. And yeah. Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. I hope that your uncle is resting well in peace. Yeah, I did hear of a classmate in the past who also had your experience of like the uncle, his uncle also destroyed his liver from too many Panadol. Yeah. But I think that's why like I feel so like, oh, I need to talk about mobility and physio and stuff in the future on my tutorial, even though my tutorial in my channel, even though I am just an art, like some like nobody artist channel, because like I always feel like it's so weird that people with, I feel like my parents and so many people around me are very well-to-do, like they have worked really hard to earn enough money to live a comfortable life, but at the same time, like having that kind of money, it's kind of like a double-edged sword where you kind of just like, I feel like they rely too much on their spending power to like buy medicine, and like medicine is always advancing, it's always getting better, but it's, yeah, like once you know how your body moves and how important it is to, or like even just about exercising, like being able to like help to like reduce inflammation on the body and all that stuff. Yeah, like I personally grew up with a lot of TCM, a lot of like MLM, and like I don't blame like the adults for that, because like exercise is so hard. Exercise is really hard. It's so easy to injure yourself. It's really easy to do things to hurt yourself in ways that we wouldn't understand unless you're a physiotherapist. And so like I can completely understand when let's say my parents have gotten a lot of injuries from doing tennis, for example, and nothing works out for them except for TCM, let's say. But I think because of that too, that because I grew up with these kind of things, I didn't do what was like really truly important to me, which was to move around and exercise. And I feel like I'm just spending so much time right now, like just to undo the shit that I've done to myself by like not moving. Like I'm inflexible in certain areas, imbalance in certain areas. And then meanwhile, like my boyfriend, he naturally moves around a lot. And it's not that he has his own like health problems and stuff, but it's not like he is really like top athletic fit and all that. But I can see that he has so much more fun doing bouldering and climbing just because he doesn't have injuries like mine, like chronic injuries like mine. Like sometimes it is very frustrating for me when I'll be like, oh, my current injury is because of like 20 years of doing this and never doing this. And then so like it does pull on I injured my hand once a few weeks ago because my muscle here is tight. So like this two finger, if you move them around, you can see like there's a muscle, the muscles here are moving. Of course it's very hard to see on mine because my forearm muscle is not that developed. But yeah, like quite a few times I'll be like, oh man, I can't do that because I can't like push as hard like he does. And I feel like that really, I feel like that does make it really frustrating sometimes. But the good news is that I'm getting stronger and my forearms are getting better. Like no more wrist pain from sculpting. So I'm really happy with that. I think it's really important to, which is also why I try to like post every day just to overcome my mentality of like, oh, the glass is always half empty kind of thing, and try to be more of the glass is half full kind of mentality. But yeah, I think in a few years' time, I do want to talk about mobility. You see, something like this happen, I'm going to solo and then go back. I think the solo button, oh my god. the solo button is really helpful. Oh my god, I'm so tired. I don't even know whether I want to run later. And as I say that, I feel like the rain has gone. Oh, so annoying. That would be a good topic. Thank you for your encouragement, Sculptor. Oh my god. Okay, I think I know why, because at this point, wait, no? Okay, no mind. Wait, why do I have one here? I feel like this is, I can just hide this. But I think the other thing is just, these kind of things are topics that I am very interested in. Like, it's so amazing, like how, like, it's so amazing what the human body can do. And the more I learn about it, the more amazing it is. And I think when I'm interested in something, that I will, like, it will become a fun topic to talk about. As in, I'll enjoy talking about it and all that. I think this one is not really that detailed, so I will do this, and then maybe make this darker. Actually, not really. I guess in some sense, this is like my mid-tones. This the dark tones, and then this is the highlight for me. And then the gold is a highlight, but I'm only using it on edges like this. But like this looks quite flat, so I'm going to use this greener tone to do that, or like something like this. I think that's nice. And then some dark colors like this. And then clean up this one a bit. I'm just going to smudge it around. Because these are bigger areas, I can just smudge it out like this. So smudge this. Like I am consciously trying to do less details on these bigger areas. Like it is kind of also in line with like, oh, try to save time on areas where I can save. But it also helps to make things consistent. So I want this color over here. It kind of gives me the vibes of oh my god. No, I don't want dynamic topology. I think I'll be happy to have dynamic topology switched off by default for the painting tools, because I don't really like, in some sense I'll get into painting when I feel like the sculpt has reached a certain point. So like, it doesn't really make sense for me to have dynamic topology like readjusting my sculpt as I'm painting, especially for areas like this. Like, I don't want it to lose resolution when I've really spent so much time working on it. I think the back is not really that important. Elden Ring. You don't see the whole thing? Yeah. Oh, it was cute, so I just left it. But I really had to go for a toilet break, so the cute things will just remain. And the plan was to like just smooth it out, but it hasn't disappeared. It's just stuck there. Anyway, after I render it out, like, I can just smudge it away, so it can just stay there. Yeah, I guess you're right that that is a signature like that. Maybe it's more like maybe it'll be more like a watermark. Like, who in the right mind would put a toilet break on their art piece? Yeah, I feel like it's never ending. And this is the back, so I don't need to care so much about it. I feel like this is the, okay, it's off screen. I feel like the same end has come back. It has come back to the table. My irrational fear of ends have decreased ever since I got together with my boyfriend, because he's like my boyfriend is like the sweetest person on earth, and like he never like killing ants and stuff, because they are living things. But like, I'm not sure. Yeah, the people around me they are still scared of insects. I think that's normal with people growing up in the city and all that. You know, my boyfriend also grew up in the city, but he's just too kind. But anyway, I tend to just leave the ants alone, because they kind of like, I don't really eat on my table or anything, but like, as I said earlier, there are a season of ants. They come and go. I just wish that I know where they are all the time, so that I don't like accidentally squish them or something. I think for this, it's just this part that I want to add some saturation here. And then this one's a bit too sudden, so I need to go. Okay, let me see. I don't know what I want to do with the base plate, honestly. Okay, let me just try a bit. Maybe I should just smudge it. What? This? Wait, I was doing that. Yeah, maybe like this. Maybe that's enough. I think it's working. Oh, I need to smooth this. The nice thing about smudging is that it will average out the colors too. So you can see like it's splotchy because there's not a lot of vertices to work with. But when you smudge, let's see if I smudge like this, then the color here, the reason why it becomes smoother is because the color here is different. Like, let's say if I eyedrop this, you can see like the colors are different. And that's why it looks smoother, even though the vertex count is the same. So that can be a good thing with smudging things around. I think smoothing does the same thing, but smoothing will change the topology, so I don't really want that to happen. But sometimes it feels like it, especially on the edges, I feel like sometimes it doesn't work the way that I think it will. So, because I need to go off soon, I'm just going to work on... what's all this? I need to fix this iris. Yeah, so I can just maybe like this. Actually, it's finishing faster than I thought. I think like doing something like this is already enough for me. For this, I mean. Maybe I do need to go in a bit like this. But then I'll just smudge away the rest. And this one's a bit like muddy, so I'll just touch up on this. Because I think the post-processing and like it already saves a lot. See, like it doesn't really matter, I guess. Like it will just look different rather than fixing, it just looks different. So I think then hopefully after this I can post this on Instagram. Like finally. At the start of the year I was like, I'm going to be more consistent in posting. Such a liar. So annoying with myself. Unprofessional behavior. Okay, this one is done. I think this one I'll just, like, I did try to experiment drawing more on this, but it's too much work to apply everywhere else. So I'll just smudge it out. Where's the other one? Oh yeah, this one. So this one has more. I think this one is at the back. So I'm not going to like try to fix this up or anything. The main thing would be to just do something like this and then smooth out the areas that's too much. And then this part. Although I guess this part needs a bit more. Something like this. Then this one. With the smudging tool, I think because the intensity is quite high, so it's quite easy to like drag. It's quite easy to drag the colors around like that. Then I don't need to like paint and eyedrop every single thing. I think this one. I seriously had no idea what I wanted to do at the start of the stream, so now that I know what I want to do, I am working a bit faster, I think, but I do need to go. I feel like I always, like if I have a bingo card for all of my live streams, I think I need to go is like it's gonna be like the top of the list. It's so fun. Like I don't want to go. This one. Okay. And then this one. Or maybe I just paint it in. Where's this? So this bottom side. Okay, then I don't need to be that detailed. Sometimes it may look like, oh, I'm doing so much, but something like this was a happy accident. I didn't do it intentionally. Like it just happened. So yeah, try it out for yourself on your own sculpt. Like, I think you'd be quite surprised with like how just smudging things around with like create a lot of details, like without doing that much work. Okay, then this one. Because the colors are very different, like it's a very light golden brown, and this is a really dark blue, saturated blue. But that's why I'm smudging it a lot right now, because the boundaries are more distinct. Let me smudge. The boundaries are more distinct this way compared to like when I was painting her hair. The difference in the colors are quite similar. So because of that, I am using more smudge for this. Just to kind of like just to do like a easy work of blending the two different colors together. And like initially I wanted to do more details, but then I think because I want to work on the tutorial and yeah, I just want to this one needs to smooth. But yeah, I want to work on the tutorial and other stuff to post on Instagram or like even my art station. But that's why I decided to just do something like this. This one's a bit too like muddy. Like you can see the two colors blending together like this. It caused the, oh my god, like it caused the what's that, the colors to become like a muddy in between. So to fix that, I think I'll just do like from scratch, and then this way it's more saturated and doesn't look like, it doesn't look dirty, I guess. So you can see like when I'm smudging, I'm not I'm trying not to do like too many like in between. I'll show you what I mean in a while. Let me just get this done first. See, like it was starting to get muddy over there. I don't want it to get muddy. So if I'll just show it. This is the back side. Okay, I don't really need to care about that. Like maybe I'll just show you on this. You can see how muddy this looks like. Do I do 2D painting as well? I want to, but then I'm not really that good at it yet. So, but I think that would be a dream of mine, to be able to do 2D painting in the future. I did start out, because I went to art school, I did start out with 2D painting, but like I just have to be honest with myself that I didn't get good at it. It's partly because I don't have enough practice in it, because I know like people who have become good at painting, they have spent like hundreds and hundreds of hours on painting. I feel the same way with 3D art, that I spend like a decent amount of time on it. That's why I'm quite decent at it. But like with painting, I feel like I've never gotten into something that I was interested in, and I feel like that is a big problem for me. But I do think that because I like to copy stuff, that because I like to copy stuff, that I have like a basic understanding of how to paint. Like if you tell me to like paint a movie still for like a study with like enough hours, I will be able to do like a copy of it, but I wouldn't know enough to like enhance it and like add my own personal flair to it, or like make the colors look good and all this stuff. But having the basic understanding has helped for something like this for me. I mean, even the things of like how I pick the colors. Like, I think initially the colors were like this only, and then I was feeling like how like it's not really standing out that much, so I think I ended up just like going a bit more green and then just bumping up the saturation a bit, and that's how this one came in. But yeah, these were things that I kind of like pick up here and there from people who know how to paint, like really basic stuff. And then like even something like this, I'm going to add like some saturation like this. Why is it doing something weird? Just like having the dark and lights in between each other like this, like it helps a little bit. And yeah, this was something that I learned from painting more than sculpting. Okay, so wait, this one is a bit almost done. This one's a bit bright. It stands out too much, so we're just darkening that a bit, darkening this a bit. Because the large pieces of gold is quite distracting. Like it's too bright. Like it steals too much attention. This one. But it's almost there. It's like almost done. Then I just need to like set up the camera angles and a screenshot and post it on my Instagram. So this one is for smaller objects, just make sure that my brush is smaller, because if you can see, like just now when I did a big brush like this, it just causes the overall color to be very muddy. This one, same thing. And I don't want dynamic topology. Oh, haven't touched this one. Maybe I can do like this, and then smudge this. And I'm able to paint now. Like I didn't paint my old sculpts because I didn't have RAM at that time. But now I have quite a lot of RAM. So I've been having a lot of fun. Yeah, painting my sculpts. Even when they are just work in progress, like I paint them up immediately. Because it's a lot of fun. And I think sometimes I also question like, oh, is my sculpt working out? And then when I paint them up, it's like, oh, it is working out. But sometimes without the paint, like it's very hard to tell whether or not something is doing right. Let's just add a curve to this and smudge this. This one is quite nice, but I don't know whether it's like too distinct. Maybe if I make this brighter like this. then this one. I think now this one's a bit messy. So last bits, this one, and then golden on this. Yeah, sometimes it's a bit buggy on edges where the topology is not nice. I think this is like completely user error because, you know, let me just smooth this out. Okay, now it's a bit better because my wireframe is really bad. But what to do? Okay, and then this one, I will grab this. Is this the last one? Maybe this is the last one. And then make sure that it doesn't intersect with the base. Does this matter if it's so golden? Maybe it does. Just do a quick one downside of the intensity being too low is that if you just do like one stroke, it becomes very muddy. So I'm like going over it quite often. It works really well when the colors doesn't what's it called, like attack each other, but in this case I'll need to be more careful. Then this one. Smush this out, blur this out, smush this out. Okay, this one is the autosave. I think this one I just need to do this. You can see, like, because I stacked the colors here, it's a lot better than this, so I'm going to do the same for this. I think do I need some blues on this? Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, my Instagram is just the same username with 2 underscores. Cornerbird with 2 underscores. I have like an irrational fear for posting stuff, so you can see it's not really that filled, but I'm always trying to do better than last time. Okay, so this one. Okay, let me this one. I'm just looking for really big areas of gold, which shouldn't be there. And this one is like 2. And this one's too straight. So and then this one's quite messy. Something that will make the painting a lot neater instantly is to just make sure that the ends of the shapes are sharp. So that's something that I do too. Like, see, sharpening this makes it a lot better. Like even this one. Like, I'm gonna. That's why smudging is really nice, because I can sharpen things very easily. Especially because the default brush is quite it's quite round. So something like this. It's like it's a lot better, and I only spend a few seconds working on it. As in working on smoothing it. And this one needs some shape correction. Sometimes it's not really the placement of colors, is the overall shape of the sculpt that's wrong. As in, that's not nice. Oh, and then final thing, just darken this a bit. I'm being quite patchy about this because there's a lot of things going on, and like, just ignore the bad anatomy. But there's a lot of things going on underneath the skin. So it's not a uniform color. So some areas will be redder, some areas will be greener, something. Oh, before I forget, I think it's enough, like what I'm doing, but just see, like very light touches like this can make quite a big difference, like with integration. Like just very light. This one's intersecting. Kind of like a color bleed kind of thing, but not too much. Just a bit. So like from far it looks like just a little bit more seamless that way. Yeah, I think that's enough for that's enough for the work in progress post that I'm going to do. I hope that you have a good time and that you enjoy your day. Thank you for tuning in. I'll work on getting my Jojo Mesmer and Wilder out soon. So pretty. Oh, let me get the... Yeah, I think the color is wrong for the background, but I'll change it another time. Thank you. I'll see you in the next one. I think in my next stream I will work on I'll work on fixing the mesh for these, so that'll be fun. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm glad that you've learned a lot.